everybody? It's your boy.
You already know who it is. It's your boy.
Joe Burley. Today we're going to talk about airflow and air balancing and what that translates over to for homeowners is rooms that are too cold, rooms that are too warm during different times of the year, during different parts of the day, different times of the day. You have that room that is just out of balance. The balance is not there. So it's like warmer in one room or too cold in another room. You're kind of arguing back and forth. Do you sweat it out so your child can be warm at night, or do you freeze because they're too hot? So this goes back and forth, and it's an issue that a lot of homeowners have, and some homeowners have learned to deal with it. You may have found ways to put another unit in there. You can keep your fan running at nighttime, leave your doors open. I know my dad, he was having this issue before I was starting to do HVAC, and they added a couple of vents to his room. They added another return. It was a whole bunch of stuff. So it's an issue that happens a lot. And if you're having that issue, maybe you can get some value from some of the information I'm going to talk to you about today. Just understanding what's going on is the beginning of it. So we have these ducts that are going to each room in the home, and we know there's a system up there or underneath your crawl space, and the positioning of that system, that's where all the conditioning of the air is going to start at, where it originates at. So depending on how close the room is to where the system is, meaning how short the ductwork is, you can expect a lot more forceful air. Now there's things that we need to do, and that HVAC technicians can do to make sure that it's not a dump zone. It's just not dumping everything into the little bathroom that's there right beside the unit or right below it or above it. We size the ductwork accordingly. There's different ductwork sizes that we put in there. So, to think about it, to put it in perspective, so that you can kind of understand, airflow and how this thing is working. Think about it as water, because air acts very similar to water in the way that it moves. It following the path of least resistance. Air follows the path of least resistance. That's why when we put dampers inside the ductwork, we can push and divert air to another part of the house. So those are different things that we have. We have automatic ones that work off of motors, and controls. You just put these controls up, and it'll kind of move those dampers for you. So at every part of the room, wherever the problem's at, it stays more comfortable. And there's manual ones. The manual ones, we install those all the time. Therefore, an adjustment that really doesn't need a whole lot of adjusting. You kind of get it, you set it. You may have to come back a time or two just to take some measurements and balance it out, fine tune it. But once it's in place, it should be fine. It should be no problem. So there's different things that we can do and different tools and instruments we have to measure airflow to make sure you have the right amount of airflow going to that particular room. Because that's another thing. There is some science that goes into this. It's a whole lot of science. I'm not going to bore you down. I'm trying to stay as surface level as possible. But there's a lot that goes into it. Just think about what we're really controlling. We're controlling the indoor air. We're controlling the indoor temperature. We're controlling the climate inside of the home. So if the climate inside the home is trying to be under control, it has to take into effect the external climate. So a lot of what goes on in the house has a lot to do with the external environment. I mean, we're trying to protect ourselves from the cold and from the heat outside. So a lot of that has to do, the warmer it gets outside, the harder your unit got to work. The colder it gets outside, the harder your furnace got to work. But not only that, the condition and the build of your home every home is not the same. Every home is not faced the same. You know, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. That means all of the windows and everything on the east side of the house in the morning is going to get a whole lot of sun. It's a whole lot of heat. The heat can come through the windows and the walls really fast, depending on the insulation value, the resistance to heat transfer. The resistance to heat transfer is for your windows and your walls, the insulation value, what the house is made of. Is it brick? Is it cardboard? No, probably not cardboard, living in Raleigh, North Carolina. But is it brick? What kind of siding is it? Is it vinyl siding? You know, is it hardy plank? You know, what kind of insulation you have in your walls? You have R13, R15. You know, there's different, you know, metrics that you have to put in. We have to make sure we put those metrics in when we do a load calculation to find out what size the system is, and also how much air needs to go to the master bedroom. Because the master bedroom, let's just say for instance, the master bedroom may have a lot of west-facing glass. So in the evening, it gets a lot more heat transfer. So in the wintertime, what that means is in the evening, that room doesn't need a whole lot of heat. It's going to be naturally warming up. So that means if the system is running like normal and you're getting a certain amount of airflow to the master could be a little warmer. It could be just a little warmer because it's already getting heat coming in from that west setting sun, and then you got heat coming in through your vents, so you're just going to have an overly warm, you know, master bedroom. And the same works if it's, you know, reverse. If it's like we have a bunch of east-facing glass inside of the living room, and in the morning it's like it's always like really warm in the living room. You know, like what's going on with that? Now, just to complicate that same situation, you know, the living room, that's usually where your thermostat is at. It's usually going to be somewhere in a common area. So let's say that common area has a lot of heat transfer from windows and all the things like that. It's going to control that thermostat. So what I'm saying is there's a whole lot of different variables that come into play when we're talking about, you know, airflow, and there's a lot of things that has to be looked at. Usually what we do is we come in, we take some samples, we go around each room, take some measurements, then we turn the system on, let the system run for a certain amount of time so it can reach set temperature, because we want to see how fast certain rooms are heating up, cooling off compared to other rooms. We want to check the comparison to see, is it balanced? We know certain rooms are bigger than other rooms, but those bigger rooms should have bigger ducts, you know, and they should have enough return to pull that air out of that room and exchange it. So by doing a test like that, we'll find out, are these rooms balanced? And if they're not, we just take care of it, we just balance it out. You know, and we always guarantee our work, so you're never about to pay for it twice. Once you do it once, guaranteed. So just wanted to share some airflow information. Just go ahead and put it out there. I mean, we have to talk about this all the time with various homeowners, so why not just go ahead and put it on the channel, and hopefully we get some followers, some views, and people will start, you know, educating themselves about the airflow. It makes our job a whole lot easier when homeowners kind of know, you know, what's going on. We don't have to explain some of the basic stuff anymore, you know. But I feel like it's good. It'll be good overall for everybody. We'll all be on a better level. So about to pull up at work. I will see you all tomorrow. If you've watched this far, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I really do. And I'm thinking about releasing some real talk videos. I made a couple. But anyway, this is something for different topic. That's for Joel Burley, not for Reliable. But anyways, look out for me, and I will see you next time.